came upon a lighthouse by Shantanu Naidu, who is the executive assistant, who was an assistant to Mr. Ratan Tata, or who is an assistant to Mr. Ratan Tata in his Tata Trust. It's a wonderful book. It's a very light-hearted and a very inside view of what and who Mr. Ratan Tata is. It talks about the journey of Shantanu, a Pune engineer working in one of the Tata companies, and how he how his passion was really how to help stray dogs. And that's the operative word that I want you to remember, and I'll try and link it back to what should we as business owners look during recruitment. So you see, Shantanu was driving a bike, and he saw many of these stray dogs who had been hit, and many of them didn't survive. So something triggered in his mind, and he got together. He kind of became a leader and pushed all his friends, and they tried to discover a way by which these stray dogs are not hit. Most of us, when you're driving, right, if the dog suddenly comes, right, it's a very split second decision to either brake or you continue on your driving, while taking a chance that either the dog moves off or it gets hit, and it's a stray anyway. But what Shantanu really did was they tried to create a collar, which is a reflecting collar, similar to what you see, let's say, behind these police people's traffic signal lights and things like that. So it was a lot of experiments. But once it got it caught the attention of the media, so people started talking about it. Somebody suggested that he write to Ratan Tata, because Ratan Tata is a known lover of dogs, and so the journey continues, and then he kind of goes on to become his executive assistant. But the point I want to all of us to learn is really, what I would like to think is, what made Ratan Tata recruit Shantanu? Because as business people, as business owners, as managers, as leaders, we are constantly searching for that spark. You're searching for something in that employee or a potential employee as to what can he bring to the table, he or she bring to the table. And in this particular instance, really, it was the passion by which the young Shantanu tried to find a solution about how these stray dogs got noticed, and how he and his friends, with very, very, very limited budgets, tried to help these dogs. Ratan Tata, being a lover of dogs, right, and when Shantanu reached out to him, he took time to meet up with these people, understand what is it that these boys were doing. And I think what he really liked was really Shantanu's passion on kind of protecting the dogs. So in the same manner, when we are recruiting, right, if you're looking at recruiting a salesperson or anybody or a employee to your organization, there are two parts to the recruitment, right? One is the skill set, right? Like somebody said, you recruit for attitudes, and skills can be developed. So my request to you is, when you're recruiting people, or even with your existing employees, try and identify what is it that they are passionate about, right? Gone are those days when just job related skills was sufficient um, to help your business grow, right? A job related sufficient skills will get you a pass mark, right? But that is no longer sufficient in today's competitive world. So look for that passion. I mean, really speaking, from where the company which the organization which Shantanu set up called Moto Paws, right? Moto for in motors and paws as in paws of the feet of the dogs. uh, from being a kind of an NGO, they became a startup, and then they've grown to many levels. But ultimately, he got a job with Mr. Tata himself. He now works with the Tata Trusts, etc., etc., etc. But the spark in that potential employee or an existing employee is what you should be able to identify. Not always does the spark may not come out bright and shining. Maybe there is something they are especially in today's time and space, right? If you ask them for computer skills, for example, they will read out a lot of it. Many of it maybe you don't even understand in complete depth, for example. But you must try and find out what is it that they have applied and created something beyond the job requirements, right? Is it that using the skill, has he set up his own website? Has he suppose he says I'm a creative writer, right? A content writer, right? What has he done beyond the job where he was working for? Maybe he wrote content for his company, maybe he wrote content for as a freelancer, but did he take time to create, let's say, content for himself, right? So that shows that it is not just a job for him, but it is a passion as well. Similarly, if somebody says, I'm a, let's say, salesperson, and he's a very good salesperson about the category or the industry that you're talking, is there something else that he's passionate about? His basic skills, whether it is selling skills, whether it is product knowledge, whether it's social service, whatever it is, has he applied, right? That is what I would want us to be looking for in a potential recruit. I know it is not very easy in these times. You might be searching for many people before you find a very young, enthusiastic, and a passionate potential employee. Or in these times, when you have limited or lesser number of employees, talk to them individually, one-on-one, find out what is it that they are passionate about, try and encourage that passion, right? And see how you can either relate it to your existing business or give them some freedom. I think there was a time when organizations used to give 5% of company time for employees to explore their passion. So I think Google News, I think if I remember correctly, was a such side project for one of the employees. So you can even do that, right? You say, listen, out of your 6 days in the company or 5 days in the company, for 1 hour or 2 hours, you can explore what you like to do, right? That could be a part of an innovation project. So they may try something, they might look at some new ways of visual merchandising, some new ways of selling. There may be some new ways of connecting on social media. There's lots of staff today are very comfortable with social media. How is it that they can leverage their passion in connecting it back to your business? Some of it may be directly connects. Maybe, for example, they may want to go and help some people, right? Figure out, is there a way you can help that passion in that employee, right? So I would urge you to evaluate and build on the passion of your staff as well as new recruits. And that's probably one of my that's one of the learnings from this book. I will come back with more and more learnings on this wonderful book. I suggest you read it. It's a wonderful light-hearted reading, and and I will pick and come up with more of my learnings based on the learnings of these books. Thank you so much, and all the very, very best. Enjoy reading.